Tuesday, a chance of rain, a high of 79. It'll be a little bit cooler for the last day of September, the high 72.
But still good biking weather, right?
Good biking weather and good weather to be out. I know a lot of you maybe do some canoeing and kayaking out there, but maybe you didn't know how much a role the rivers played in the history of Des Moines and how much time people used to spend near them. I talked to John Wenk about it a while back, and here's my story about that. We're with John Wenk, who's the Water Trails Coordinator with the DNR here at Birdland Marina, and we're here to kind of look at the past and also look ahead to the future. There was a time when people in the metro were much more connected to the river than they are now.
Yeah, absolutely, Jason. I mean, you know, there was a time that we depended on our rivers for transportation. We depended on them for ice to cool our perishables. Up until late 1930s, we depended on them for sustenance. You know, I mean, fishing in the river wasn't just recreation. It was, you know, to provide food on the table. There were no computers, there were no smartphones, there were no TVs and videos and things like that. And so people relied on the river quite a bit for recreation. Ice skating was huge along the river, and swimming. So there were bathhouses up and down the river where people would actually swim in the river, you know, for recreation. And they rented swimsuits. In the beginning, they rented swimsuits. So yeah, it's fascinating. In fact, there was a bathhouse just across the river from Birdland Marina. There was a bathhouse, a very popular bathhouse for about 30 years.
We had steamships that went up and down the river in Des Moines.
There were steamboats coming from the Mississippi up to Des Moines. You know, immigrants came up that way, but most of the time it was supplies. And there were as many as 30 to 40 steamships that would come up and deposit supplies. After the Civil War, in the Victorian period, later 1880s, 1890s, steamboats were converted into passenger or excursion boats, and then they would take people from Center Street Dam up to areas like Crocker Woods or Prospect Park, because there were no roads at the time leading to those areas, so they would pay 5 cents for a trip up and a trip back.
We're standing by a structure that's been here for a long time, associated with the streetcars in Des Moines.
Yeah, it's an old abutment from the first streetcar line that was actually constructed in Des Moines. It was called the Beltway or Beltline Railway, and it connected folks at Highland Park College, where Park Fair Mall currently is, to the downtown area. And it was actually the first streetcar line in the city, and incidentally, the streetcar system within Des Moines was the second, from what I understand, in the nation.
There was at least one, if not two, amusement parks right down by the river as well in Des Moines.
Yeah, there were. Up until about 1902, there was an area, part of Crocker Woods, which is where Prospect Park is now. There was a gravity roller coaster there that was established in 1893, and I mean, the first of its kind was in Coney Island, I think in 1884, but Des Moines had one in 1893, and all they did was they'd climb like a 3-story platform and ride the roller coaster to the other side, climb the 3-story platform and ride the roller coaster back. The river really provided a lot of opportunity back then for recreation, I think.
The river played a big role in the lives of people long ago here in Des Moines. As we go to our next segment involving this subject, later on in the program, we're going to talk about the future of rivers in Des Moines, and specifically river trails here in central Iowa, so stay tuned for that.